A New Hope, Nier Chapter 167 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of his stories. The divine protections the Erd Tree had were great for sure. A powerful Geass binding its life to the flames well hidden and secured in the mountain top of the giants in the Snowfield. But when I opened the portal to the very sun and the flames and force of the expanding sun's influence pushed through the portal I opened inside the entrance of the Erd Tree's pocket dimension, that Geass and divine protection faltered right quick. I gave one last look towards the magical portal that bore Renala's magical signature, meaning that she was watching me. I sent a nod in her direction before I took a deep breath as I wandered into the Erd Tree alone, as I didn't want A2 and the others to get involved in this part. My vision blurred as I was swallowed within the Erd Tree's pocket dimension, and within but a couple of moments my feet hit the ground. My vision stabilized as I gazed upon the interior of the Erd Tree. Hanging above me was Marika, the goddess, impaled and crucified upon pieces of the very elden ring that made her an immortal goddess. Her form was wrecked and without her once vaunted beauty. Even if I could still see the signs of her previous grandeur as her long blonde hair hung behind her form. Her ageless form showed itself in the flesh being of stone, being magically kept together as large parts of her body were missing, as her entire right armor was like a marble statue's arm being shattered and held together with a clear epoxy or something, as her immortality and magic kept the shattered parts of her body in a human shape. And below Marika's hanging form was the very anvil in which Marika had shattered the Elden Ring, with Radagon, her brother/other half of Self's war hammer, buried into the magically dense stone anvil. A loud cracking noise rang out, and I looked back up and saw the shards of the Elden Ring that impaled and crucified the goddess within the air were cracking and breaking apart at sensing my intrusion. With a split moment, I skipped forward at high speed, and then even as Marika collapsed to the floor with a loud crashing noise, I reached Radagon's divine warhammer and I said shamelessly, "Fucking yoink." And I yeeted Radagon's divine weapon through a gap portal out of the Erd Tree and next to A2, who was walking through Runny's tower to meet with the rest of the people there. The sound of crunching rocks rang out and I looked over at Radagon as Marika's long blonde hair receded and became dark maroon hair, with their shared body losing all feminine traits, with Radagon standing up straight at like 9 feet tall or something. And as our eyes met, I saw the alien will of the Golden Order fill his eyes as his empty organless chest filled with a golden glow as the remaining Elden Ring screamed its power to my senses as it showed itself within Radagon's chest. "Alright Raddy, let's go. I am fucking your ex, your kids are going to call me daddy, and I am going to clap your sister," I said with a chuckle. And there was a moment of silence as Radagon's head tilted to the side, and then his form snapped forward with golden holy energy forming around him as he in a split second teleported directly in front of me, and he punched down toward me with his hands seemingly sheathed in a holy Chidori of all things. But, here in the Erd Tree's pocket dimension, I wasn't going to hold back in the slightest, with a literal elder god Shoggoth being here for me to fight. Even as the blowback of Radagon's teleport slammed into me, and his bootlegged holy Chidori tried to pierce through my body, the god slipped as the floor became a thick pool of darkness as I manifested the portal in which my guardian could properly come into the world. Ever since my guardian had drank and eaten the grim pools which were the remains of the god of darkness from RWBY, there was no denying my guardian was powerful. And that power proved its might as divine darkness met Radagon's flaring holy light energy coming from the Elden Ring in his chest. The mire of darkness was pushed back by the Elden Ring's seemingly endless divine might, and even as Radagon stepped forward to punch me, my arm darkened as though it was blessed with hockey as I took upon the might of my guardian, and I met his punch honorably. A massive booming noise rang out as the enchanted stone beneath our feet and below the dark domain of my guardian's spawn cracked as the force of the impact would have pushed us both back. But we both dug our heels in. Radagon then filled his hand with holy energy and swung it at me, sending small spears of holy light that sought to pierce through my body, but a wave of darkness absorbed them and pushed the spears away even as they exploded powerfully. The range of our attacks are limited by the arena's small size. I rather not fall off this platform and fall into whatever void is between this pocket dimension and the realm of stars where will of the Golden Order is. I thought, as I knew Radagon was also very much limiting the expansive power of his attacks. I knew in my very bones that the intensity of the attacks would be devastating should they hit me. "Alright Radagon, you got to play around for a bit," I spoke, and then stopped as Radagon teleported onto me again, with him doing a powerful sweep of a kick that hit my chest and sent me skidding across the platform, but I continued. "But, I have other things to do than be kicked around by an already dead god. I took a deep breath and my vision dulled slightly as my guardian fully pulled itself out of the ground and even as Radagon instantly pelted it with spears of powerful lightning and light. It was for naught as any wounds all but instantly healed and then thick tendrils of darkness covered Radagon's form that were filled with glowing bright blue streaks of phazon. You know, my phazon is rather interesting. It can infect people down to their very souls and it even acts as a perfect conduit for my abilities. I spoke as jagged mouths filled with too large of teeth and seemingly crimson eyes of all sizes formed in the darkness surrounding us. A rumble rang out as I stepped over to Radagon and I laid a hand on his chest and I looked into the eyes of the greater will and said, "Marika is mine now." And with my soul's full power, I pushed against Radagon's chest with the rumbling noise ringing out and then a loud cracking noise snapping out like a gunshot as Marika's broken body that was infested with my phazon shot out of the back of Radagon's body. But that wasn't it, in that moment as I shattered the gap between Radagon and Marika making them two separate beings. I pulled my hand back. And within my hand was a glowing orb of compressed divinity that I slammed into my chest with myself laughing as the Erd Tree around me shuddered and roiled with fury as I stole the very Elden Ring from the greater will. Come ha! I am a literal god now. Let me see the power of a slave of an outer god. I spoke as I waved a hand to teleport Marika's body out of the grasp of the cosmic darkness that dragged Radagon's body into the manifestation of the Golden Order. It was time for me to fight the Elden Beast now.